Hey friends, so today I'm making this video specifically to show you how I make homemade lye soap. Okay, I'm going to start with my lard that we rendered from the pig fat, and I'm going to put this in this pot and I'm going to melt it down. So while my lard is melting down, I'm going to go ahead and measure out my other oils that I want to use in my soap. So all that's melted down, and now I'm pouring the rest of my oil into the melted lard. Moving to the crock pot, I use the crock pot method. This has been heating up and it's on high, so now I'm going to pour all my oils into my crock pot. Okay, this next step, guys, I suggest you wear gloves if you're not familiar with lye, if you're not used to using a lye, because we're going to pour the lye into this distilled water, and it's going to get very hot, it's going to steam, and it's very dangerous for your skin and your eyes. It's dangerous to inhale it, so be very careful. I'm not going to film this part. I'm going to pour it in and I'm going to stir it right here with this, and I will show you guys once I get this in here, then I'll record again. Okay, I've got it in there and it tries to crystallize at the bottom, and I'm not wearing gloves, I realize that, but I'm going to keep stirring this so that it does not crystallize at the bottom. Kind of scrape it up a little bit. I can really I have to step back. It is smoking. Can you see it forming on the... Yeah, it's really hot. But once this kind of mellows out, then we're going to pour it into our oil. So it should start turning clear. You want to check your temperature according to your soap recipe and make sure that it's ready. Okay, it's kind of getting clear, if you can see. I'm not going to get too close. Well, I can with my camera, but it's not crystallizing on the bottom anymore. It's dissolved nicely. But you want to be very careful, even where you place your spoon, because it's got that lye solution on there. So I'm actually going to bring my cup over here so that I can put it in there. See how it's turning clear now? Okay guys, I'm going to let this sit for a minute. I'm going to rinse off my spoon and my cup. I'm going to come back and see if it's ready to pour in. You don't want to pour it directly in. You want to make sure that it's at a good temperature, that it's clear, that it's dissolved before you pour it into your fats. Okay, y'all ready to pour this in there? I'm excited. I love doing this. So I've got my lye solution, and I'm going to pour it into my oils and my fats. Just like that. I'm going to put this in the sink. I'd recommend you to do this when you don't have young children running around or young grandchildren running around, because it could be very dangerous if they were to come and bump you while you're pouring the lye solution, or even while you're mixing it. It could splash on them. So I really highly recommend that you don't make soap with young children running around, just for that reason. So if you have a stick blender, I'm going to use my little handy dandy hand mixer, because I don't have a stick blender anymore. We're going to mix it. Okay, I have blended this with the mixer for a few minutes. I'm going to let it sit, but I'm going to watch it very closely because it's going to start to, I want to say volcano. And so that's when I need to come back and mix it down some more. And once it starts going through that process, I'll show y'all what it looks like. Okay, so it's been a little while, but here we are at a good point. It's starting to do its thing. So I'm gonna blend it. And then let it sit a little longer, and it's gonna start to continue to bubble and volcano. Okay guys, here it is. I'm just kind of patting it down in its soap molds. Well, I mean, this is my soap mold. Yours might be different. I guess I should also say that if you have pH strips, or if you want to test the pH of your soap to make sure that it is done before you go to this process, you should probably do that. Yeah, this was just a basic soap making. The way I do it, you can do it any other way. Use the oils and the fats that you prefer. Always make sure you use distilled water. You can use fragrance oil or essential oil, but I do recommend that before you even get started, you have all your material laid out. You have gloves, which I didn't wear, but you should probably wear those when you're mixing lye. Also, you're going to want to make sure that you don't have any kids running around, because it is very dangerous. And just kind of be prepared, and don't walk away from the soap when it's cooking, because it can erupt and boil up out of your pot, and then it's going to corrode all your stuff. So yeah, that's happened before. So anyway, this is just the way that I do it. If you have any tips, tricks on the way that you do this, if you've made soap before, leave them in the comments. And this is the exciting part. I just had to share one more thing with you guys. So when you go to clean your soap pot out, you can see the bubbles, and so it's like, you know that your soap is going to be good, and you know that your soap is going to lather. So as I'm cleaning it out, I turn the water on, and see, and then I'm scraping the sides, and I can see that my soap will be a good lathering soap.